Howdy partners, it's Cowboy Demi today, and we've traveled all the way out to BRAVOLAND, California, the best spot for a Western rootin' tootin' good time.
This was probably the most thematic Hoop Night event we've had in a long time. It was entirely centered around Bravo Farms, which is this incredibly vast, expansive Western land right in the middle of Southern California. They've got a few different locations, but we were driving right on the 5 freeway, which was halfway between NorCal and SoCal, which is where all my friends and I met up. When half your friends are in SoCal and the other half are in NorCal, you've got to find creative ways to get the gang together. That's exactly what we did when we hosted our Hoop Night here at BRAVOLAND. This is a Western themed spot, so expansive with all sorts of exciting frontier themed events, but the number one reason we were here was for Outlaws of Thunder Junction. This is a Magic the Gathering set that fits perfectly with the Western gritty feeling. We played a format called Pack Wars, which has a huge feeling to it of dueling somebody. You basically open up one pack each, you draw only one card at a time, you have basically infinite mana, and you just play with that. The winner takes both packs, while the loser gets absolutely zero. There's no mercy out here in the Wild West, my friends. You've got to strike first and strike hard. I mean, hey, there is a lot of luck and variance involved when you're just going one card at a time in a randomized booster pack, but still we had an absolutely great time doing it. In fact, all 4 of us ended up with an exact 3 wins and 3 losses, so we actually ended up having a pretty fair and balanced day. I was particularly proud of how our bullet-shaped dice turned out. There were 6 of them loaded up in a chamber like this. You roll them on their side, and boom, you have an exact replica that can work just like a D6. Speaking of replicas, BRAVOLAND has a ton, and I do mean a ton, of rare historic relics that are covering all sorts of frontier life and Western expansion, especially in California. It's really a treat to just walk around this vast, expansive area. There's several locations all throughout California, but we drove on the 5 freeway, which again, exactly halfway between Northern California and Southern California. Now, BRAVOLAND was originally Bravo Farm, where they were essentially just dairy cheese workers. They made a pimento spicy chipotle cheese that ended up putting them on the map as they continued to raise revenue and profits. They continued to expand until eventually in 2014, we got this place, BRAVOLAND. You would think that the cheese would be to die for, so I went for nachos. I do feel like they were pretty overpriced at $22, and the meat was a little dry. Didn't feel like the cheese was anything too special, though I will say the portion size was at least pretty good. What do my friends think of their meals?
How is that looking?
Really ledge.
How's your tri-tip?
It's good.
Looking, the Outlaws of Thunder Junction, it's all about committing crimes, which you should never do normally, but I see my friend Soda right there. Sick.
Now, of course, it wouldn't be a Western-themed Hoop Night without a shooting gallery, and I have to say, I think this is where BRAVOLAND does a really great job of towing the line between younger children and more of the young at heart. There's something really whimsical about ducks that are rotating off and on. You've got the colorful setup that seems like it's straight out of an old children's book. You even got a big brown bear who's talking some sort of shog. It actually felt a lot like Bloomburrow, funny enough, which is another Magic the Gathering set about talking animals. Maybe we'll have to do that one day. It really felt like an old 3D Zelda game, like Ocarina of Time, where you've got your crossbow and you're shooting rupees all throughout a shooting gallery. Something about it, again, just felt really nostalgic in a way. I had an absolute blast doing it. Now, if there's one thing Scouts should know about me, it's that I absolutely love ice cream. You've got Doc Bernstein's right here in BRAVOLAND. This is a fairly famous local area that's got all sorts of delicious flavors. I like to go for s'mores when it's an option, but since that wasn't something that was here, I went for the MVP, vanilla. Just plain vanilla with very low sugar. That's cool. I mean, for what it's worth, it looked absolutely phenomenal. That rich creaminess, that soft texture, allowing the ice cream and the scooping to go absolutely wild. And again, the servings were very generous. It was about $8 total, which I guess in this economy is more or less the price of ice cream. At least a good 2 scoops in a big waffle cone. Look, I may be an outlaw today, but I ended this event very happy. I did not need to pull out a booster pack and hold up anyone at the counter. I felt like it was an absolutely great time. If you're like me, which is to say a nerd who loves a good thematic party, what is an event that you would host next? Whether it's a board game, a video game in some certain location, or maybe with special catering, I would love to know what you've done or what you would consider doing. Maybe I'll do it myself. Anyway, catch you later, Scouts, and I hope you guys have a wonderful and very lawful rest of your day.